Hello sports fans, it's time for another edition of the Sports Insomniacs video blog. And in this video blog, I'm going to talk a little bit about LSU's disappointing loss, 41-7, a blowout really, to the Auburn Tigers. And let me tell you, I was just as disappointed as every other LSU fan. I really thought that LSU, yes, they were 7.5-point underdogs to the Auburn Tigers. It was on the road. Brandon Harris, the starting quarterback, is a freshman. A lot of the key players, Leonard Fournette, freshman, Malachi Dupre, freshman, Trey Quinn, freshman. You see a trend here, but I really thought that LSU had a chance to keep it close, and if they kept it close, I really thought our defense would step up. I really thought that LSU had a chance to pull away with their victory. However, that being the case, LSU, as we all know, they lost. They lost big. They lost ugly. It was not a pretty game all the way through. LSU was just out of it from the first quarter, 17-0, and just didn't have it. And they were not misfiring on all cylinders and lost. And they were just not just lost, but like I said, they got slaughtered, humiliated. And now, looking at the aftermath, LSU has fallen out of both the Associated Press top 25 as well as the coaches top 25. It's the first time that LSU's been unranked in I don't know how long, and it really, really is sad to see that a lot of the LSU fans now are jumping off the bandwagon. In fact, some of these fans that were bandwagon fans to begin with when LSU won their national titles back in the 2000s, one at 2003 and one in 2007, that now they're just jumping off the bandwagon and they're saying that Les Miles needs to be fired and that the team is horrible and they deserve to be going to places like the Toilet Bowl. Well, I know that's a joke and it's a lame attempt at humor, but let's be fair. LSU has lost so many players to the NFL draft, to graduation. They've lost, I believe, 16 players these last couple of years. They're hemorrhaging players to the NFL draft, and they're hemorrhaging players to graduation. It happens. Attrition happens every year, but LSU is one of the big name programs that loses a lot of their players to go to the early entries that go to the draft. And because of that, we're having to start instead of seniors and juniors, we're starting a lot of freshmen. These are people that are 18, maybe 19 years old, playing against people that are 21, possibly 22, if not 23 years old. So you've got players that last year were playing high school football. Let me say that one more time. You've got players that were playing high school football a year ago against players that are seniors and juniors that are seasoned veterans. And it's just too high expectations right now to be put on the LSU team. Do I want LSU to go undefeated? Yes. Would I want LSU to go 12-0 and compete for the SEC championship, the national championship? Yes. Is it going to happen every year? No. And that brings me to my second point, that LSU fans, like it or not, believe it or not, are spoiled. And they expect LSU to compete for the national championship every year. And that's great to have that mindset and to have that thought that it's going to happen, but it is not a expectation that can truly happen every year. It's not possible. LSU will not compete for the national championship every year, regardless if you want that to happen or not. It's not feasible to say. Now, should LSU always try to contend for the national championship? Yes. But will they always be in the hunt for the national championship? No. ESPN put out their first bowl projections for the season, and right now they have LSU going to, I believe, the Texas Bowl. I don't know, I've never heard of the Texas Bowl, and it's sad, but there were years back in the day where LSU going to the Independence Bowl would bring mass hysteria, that LSU fans were so elated to be going to the postseason. So obviously, going to a game like the Texas Bowl, going to the Peach Bowl, or a lesser tier bowl game like that would be considered a huge disappointment for LSU fans this year. So last thing I want to bring up is there's a lot of talk on the internet about Les Miles and that he should be fired and that a new head coach should be brought in. I challenged the LSU fans the last time when we lost to Mississippi State to give me a name, and nobody gave me a name. Nobody could give me a name of a head coach, an assistant coach in the NFL, a head coach in college, anybody that would come to LSU and that would come in and be the next coach at LSU. So I'm issuing that challenge once again. If anybody, and I mean anybody, can give me a comment and tell me who should be the next head coach at LSU if they fire Les Miles. If you want Les Miles gone, then give me a solution. I'm telling you right now, There is no better substitute out there that's willing to come here that is better than Les Miles. If there is, I'd like to hear it. Like I said, this is the Sports Insomniacs, sportsinsomniacs.wordpress.com. Check us out there. Comment on this blog, on this video log. It's going to be up on YouTube shortly. Please check us out. We're also on Facebook. We're also on Twitter. Sports Insomniacs. Sports never sleep, and neither do we.